Hi everyone, today I'm going to quickly show you how to make the Goan Bebinca, which is a popular Christmas sweet. They use it for weddings as well and at times at birthday parties, but my recipe is going to be for about, I guess, a 9-inch round. That's what I'm going to be using to bake it. But you'll need 18 egg yolks, 3 cans of coconut milk, and each can is about 400 ml. 1.5 teaspoon of nutmeg powder, and I'm going to use about between a cup and a half to 2 cups of sugar and another cup and a half of all-purpose flour. This recipe does not need baking soda or baking powder. You don't want it to be light and airy, you want it to be dense. And 1 stick of butter that you're going to use, for the layers, in between the layers. So cold stick of butter will be a good option as you bake the layers. You just want to grease each layer before you pour in the next layer of batter, and you will bake it at 375. That's where you'll start your first layer. And then I usually use my high heat, I use the broiler, and that takes between 2 to 3 minutes. So even though traditionally it takes a long time, I've just figured out to do the process much more faster, but it does not compromise the taste. My mom would do it old style on a gas stove and put heat coal on top, because we didn't have access to gas baking ovens. The ovens were mostly the ones that you kept on the stove top, on a gas stove top. I'm happy that this is a much more faster, easier recipe. So I'm just going to be blending the ingredients, and I'll show you how thin you want the batter. It's almost equivalent to a pancake batter that you will make. So this is how the batter looks like. It's actually a little more thinner than your normal. It will be more like a crepe batter, because that's how it is. It's layers and layers of thin crepe kind of cake, which is more denser and is not spongy. And traditionally you will burn some sugar, create a dark caramel and add it for the color, but this time I've just added brown sugar. So it's got a light yellowish color. Bebinca is usually more on the darker brown espresso color, but I'm going to be making mine more, what do you call it, camel, or a lighter color layered Bebinca this time. But if you want to do the traditional one, which is darker brown, you can visit my website at www.goanwiki. So it's GOANWIKI.com, and I have the multi-layered Bebinca recipe that you can follow. So we're going to start baking. I actually decided to switch, so I'm going to use a 9x6 pan for baking. I'm going to layer it actually with some either butter or oil, a little greasy at the bottom and the side. So if hopefully I'll be able to turn it over, so we're going to warm up our oven at 375 and start off the first layer. So just to recap, I have 18 egg yolks, 3 cans of coconut milk, 2 cups of sugar, 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour. Please do not use self-raising flour, no baking soda, and there's no baking powder in this recipe. And 1.5 teaspoon of nutmeg, couple pinches of salt. It just enhances any dessert. And yeah, that's it. And some butter, a stick of nice cold butter that you're going to use between the layers. Okay, so let's warm up the oven at 375. So I've lightly greased the bottom of this pan so the first layer does not get stuck after I'm done baking. And you want to use a measure that's the same, so you get a uniform layer of measure. I'm going to start with a 1 cup. I might add a little more than a cup for the first layer, so that depending on like I said, I haven't baked in this pan before for Bebinca, but we're going to give it a try. And one thing that I am missing for the batter is the burnt caramel sugar that they add for color. I'm just going to be au natural. So I have about a cup. I'm actually waiting for my oven to heat up to 375. So sorry, I guess I'm going to be pouring it a little in advance, but we're going to put it, going to get every single drop in it, and we're going to put it in the oven. I believe the first layer might be between 8 to 10 minutes, but we'll check on it to see that it's done, you know, when the toothpick comes out nice and clear. So this is 1 cup of the batter that I've poured in, and my oven is ready. So we're going to slide it in and bake it for a couple minutes. It's going to bake fast, maybe I think it's between 10 minutes or so. I'll let you know as I get to the next layer, and I'm going to show you how you build up the layers. So I baked it for 13 minutes actually. It kind of puffs up. Just let it settle down a little bit, and while it's hot, you just want to rub some cold butter on it, because that's how you're going to keep the layers separate, and gently. And then we're going to pour in the same amount, 1 cup of batter, because you know we want the layers to be uniform. Okay, I think that's quite a bit of butter. Actually, it's not a lot. Stir your batter so it's not settled all the way below. Scoop in exactly a cup and gently pour in. I'm going to try and get every little bit of it, you know. Since I use one hand to hold my phone and the other to do the stuff, I have to be a little patient in letting all the... Okay, I guess that's it. And that's where I let it rest. I'm going to switch now to my broiler. I think this time I'm going to do it... I'm going to keep it on a lower setting. And each layer now will take probably about same 8 to 9 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to monitor it because usually I do it on a high heat. So this time I just want to follow conventions and just do it on low and slow. So I kept it for 10 minutes on low broiler, but it kind of seemed to have browned a little bit. You know, it's okay. It puffs up a lot, so let it just kind of settle down before you pour in the next layer. Otherwise, it'll bunch up only on the low side, and you'll have this sticking out. So I'm trying to lightly butter it while I'm waiting for it to go down. I guess the slight burn will give it a nice effect, since I have skipped using the caramel for coloring. And now I'm going to monitor it. Now instead of 10 minutes, probably, you know, keep it for about 7 is what I'm guessing, so it doesn't burn out. So it's kind of, the puffy side is going down, and that's what you want. So the batter spreads out evenly. And we're going to bake this, you know, till we get to the top layer. So I'm going to add in another cup of batter, and we're going to alternate it. We're going to bake each layer. So this is my last final layer. It got a little burnt. I had actually put it for 8 minutes since I had to add the remaining batter, which was little more than a cup, but looks like that was not a good idea. I think I probably got between 6 to 7 layers, and I went from 10 minutes from my second layer using the broiler on low to 6 minutes because it would cook up really quick. So I can't wait to see how this bebinca turns out. I'm going to let it rest overnight and cool, and hopefully I'll be able to pop it out all out of the pan. But yeah, hoping that it smells good though. All that butter and coconut milk, it smells awesome. Can't wait to dig in. So here's my bebinca. I made it yesterday. I let it cool overnight. I got about 9 layers actually, and I'm really happy. They're pretty uniform because each layer was about a cup, and I used a 9x6 baking pan, and you can see, and it smells so good. And this is what you're looking for, a dense cake that is layered. And just to wrap up, I baked the first layer at 375 for 13 minutes, and then I put my broiler on low heat and baked each layer for 7 to 6 minutes. As I increased my layers were getting done in 6 minutes. And I hope you enjoyed watching my video, and thanks for watching.